Yo, what is up guys? In today's video I will be showing you my updated controller settings for 2024. It is a brand new year and I decided to change my settings a little bit. With these settings I feel so much faster when I'm free building and also when I'm editing. I feel so much faster as well. And I also increased my sensitivity a little bit. In today's video I will not only be showing you my updated controller settings and my sensitivity, but I will also be teaching you how to reduce input delay on all consoles, and I will show you guys the best keybinds, and I mean literally the best keybinds for non-claw players, and paddle players. So this video will work for everybody if you play PS5, Xbox, and even Nintendo Switch players. So basically, this will work, and any of these settings I show you guys will work on all consoles, even maybe PC. So let's get into it. So before I get into the settings or anything, I'm going to show you guys a little free building clip, and then we'll get into the settings. For the settings, I am going to explain every setting to you guys so you all understand what each setting does. The first setting I am going to explain to you guys is the 120 FPS mode. A lot of you guys wonder how to get this setting. Well, let me tell you. Basically, in order to get this setting, you need to have a gaming monitor that will support 120 Hertz or 165 Hertz, and this is only for the next generation consoles. That's only for PS5 and the new Xbox. So if you're playing on a TV, you'll most likely not be able to enable this setting, and it's such a big difference from 60 FPS. So make sure to turn this on. My brightness is at 150 because the game on console is terrible. It's just so dark. For my colorblind, it's on trit and op on 10 because in my opinion it makes your game brighter. For the motion blur, always have this off because it causes more input delay and it's harder to see opponents when fighting. And for these settings, it doesn't really matter. This one at the bottom here causes more input delay, and this one just shows your FPS, so it's no big deal. But let's get into the next part of the settings. So for audio, it really doesn't matter what settings you have for audio. I suggest putting visualize sound effects on. Visualize sound effects is a really overpowered setting. And go to your subtitles because this reduces input delay, and put every setting here to the first one. That'll basically help you with less input delay. And now for the voice chat, I usually just do everybody, voice recording off. You don't really need this. None of these really matter in my opinion. Voice chat notifications don't really matter. Now for the creator options, I suggest putting it on mute all because just for copyright purposes. So yeah, so let's get right into the next setting. Game settings, you want to make sure you put the matchmaking region setting on what region you play. So for example, I play NA East, so my matchmaking region is going to be on NA East. For the language setting, you want to put it as whatever language you speak. Basically, that's pretty simple to realize. Now, for the movement, you want this on for toggle sprint. So I use the D-pad, the right button. So basically, I only have to press this once to sprint faster, and I don't have to keep holding my D-pad. And it makes it way easier for me to run. Now, for auto open doors, you want this on because if you're running through editing or whatever while you're running and you accidentally edit a door, you want this on so you keep your momentum. You just open the door and you keep your momentum. Also for when you're landing, you know, you don't have to keep pressing square. So now for the mantle activation, you just want to have it on hold to jump, so like when you're going for peaks or anything, You don't want to accidentally mantle over the wall and get shot. For this, just keep this on. For hold the swap pickup, I have this off because basically I can pick up weapons way faster with it off instead of having to hold square to pick up weapons. For toggle targeting, I suggest keeping this off because it's the default setting. Mark danger when targeting, I suggest having on so that you know, it's just easier to mark people. Auto pickup weapons I have off because I don't think you guys want to be messing up your loadouts while, you know, running around. You don't want to auto pick up weapons, so have this off. For preferred item slots, I suggest having it on. For the first slot, I suggest having a shotgun because, you know, it'll be easier for you for after you make an edit or something, you just press the the RB button and it goes right to your shotgun. For the second for the second loadout slot, I suggest an SMG because, you know, we're controller players and we always need to have an SMG. Just a little bit of sense of humor here. For the third and fourth, I always just use the, you know, consumables because why would I need to use a sniper or anything? I don't usually use snipers. Now for the fifth slot, I suggest having, of course, your AR because, you know, if you're holding your shotgun, you just press the left top button, it'll switch right to your AR. Now for the combat settings, hold the swap pickup. Okay, so for the building settings, I suggest having these options. These are pretty easy to understand. For the first three are the very important ones. You want to have these all on. Basically, the disable preedit option is for, you know, it'll allow you to edit faster, basically, and stuff like that. Auto confirm edits helps you edit way faster. And it also helps you reset everything way faster so you don't mess up anything and you don't have to, you know, manually reset your builds. Now for tips, you don't really need tips, it just adds more input delay. For extra options, just, you know, make sure you have tap to search interact on because basically it helps you. Like it's all you have to do is tap square once and you search chests or whatever, you don't have to hold it down. Now for low latency mode, I just have on. I don't know why it's on. I can't turn it off. It's weird. Now for these, I have no idea. I don't mess with these, so just I guess leave them like this. For replays, have them all off because you don't want the game to be recording your replays, and that's way more input delay for your you know, for your thing. So let's get right into the next settings. For the game UI settings, these don't really matter, just in my opinion, just make sure you have your reticle on, obviously. Now, for the HUD scale, have around 50 or 60% because it helps you with input delay and you can see your game better. For the spectator count, this is all optional at the bottom here. Mainly, the reason I have spectator count off is because it helps with input delay. Pick up loot stream, map backpack keys, illumination feed is a preference. Net bug stats I have on so I can see what my ping is. Quest progress, control prompts, creative runtime, performance, and collapse weapon mod description. All I have is I have all those off because it just causes more input delay in my opinion. Besides, the illumination feed is just optional, so you guys can just copy this if you would like. And yeah, let's get into the next setting. The gyro settings, just turn all this stuff off. You don't really need it. No one uses this stuff anyways, honestly. It's just a waste of space and a waste of time, and it also causes more input delay. So I just suggest turning this stuff off. Now for the keyboard and mouse settings, also turn everything down to 0 and 5.5. Turn all this stuff off because you know what, it just causes more input delay for you guys. as well. Also, don't worry about any of this stuff because all this stuff is just terrible. That's for keyboard and mouse players. We don't play keyboard and mouse over here, we're controller players. So now let's get right into the next settings. My controller settings. So I suggest you guys have the controller auto run on. It'll benefit you in a lot of ways. So for the build immediately, Builder Pro, have this on as well. This also will benefit you. Edit hold time, always have on the lowest you can have it because it decreases in edit delay. For the slide hold time, some people like having this up, but me personally, I like having it on 0 because it makes it easier for me to slide and everything. For this, I just left normal because I don't want to mess with it. Obviously, turn this down. Turn the vibration off because you don't need it. Honestly, it'll just mess up your aim and mess up your gameplay. For quick weapon, you don't even need this setting, honestly. Turn all this off. Turn instant toggle off. It's the worst thing they've ever added, honestly. It doesn't work. It'll get you killed faster. And also, it adds way more input delay to your game. For the sensitivity, I suggest turning it off, turning these two onto slow so it helps you with your crosshair placement and everything. It makes your game like way smoother, and then turn it right back on, of course. For my build and edit, it's 2.1. It helps me build faster and edit faster. For my advanced look sensitivity, most pros usually use from 40 to 45, I think, if I remember correctly. I use 40 because this is just a comfortable sensitivity for me. Obviously, turn all boosts off. It gives you more input delay. Turn instant boost when building on. It helps you with your building. My sensitivity is for aiming down is 10-10 because lower sensitivity for aiming down is the best because you don't want it high so that you can't. So basically, it makes you laser better. It makes you laser people better when it's on low. When it's extremely high, you can barely aim properly. Turn off all the boosts down here. There's no point of having it. It just causes more input delay. For the look dampening time, turn this off as well. My input curve is linear. Aim assist strength 100, obviously. For the dead zones, I do 5 for the left stick, so it's easier to move. And because I don't have any, dead zone problems or drift because my controllers are brand new. And for my right, the same thing. It's on 12 because 12 is easier for me. It's not as fast with 5. Don't put it down to 5, but I suggest putting it on 12 so it helps you. For adaptive trigger, this is only for PS5 users. Just turn these off because these mess you up a lot. Turn this all off. And this is optional. So let's get into the next settings. For claw settings, which I don't play claw, I play 4 paddles, so I'm going to show you the best claw settings. So these are the best claw settings. I don't play claw, I play paddles, so I don't really need this. This is for like right hand claw or whatever. I'm just showing you the best optimal settings. I hope you guys like this. And then I will be right back with the non-claw settings. Show you the settings for no paddles and no claw. These are by far the best optimal binds for no paddles, no claw. Let me just show you all these. Okay, now let's get on to the 4 paddle settings. I'm going to show you, in my opinion, the best 4 paddles binds. Now, these are pretty much the same thing as the no claw, no paddle binds because it's pretty basic and it actually makes you really good. Now, in my opinion, so I use my first left paddle as jump, my second left paddle as sprint, and then I use the first right paddle as switch mode, and then the second right paddle as my pickaxe. You can use pretty much whatever you want. Some people use edit, switch mode, jump, and pickaxe. And that's pretty, I mean, you can go and look up the best paddles. This is just my settings, but I suggest using mine because I do really well. You might not, but I do very well with these settings. So now I'm going to go on to the two paddle player, controller player settings, which are very similar. They're pretty much the exact same as this, just one paddle's jump and one paddle's switch mode. So yeah, so that's pretty much the end of today's video. If you guys liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and have a good day. Peace.